Hey there, it's still February. This is Brandan from Be Loves the Love. How are you doing? How's your reading going? I'm not even going to tell you where I am because it'll just be the same bit. I'm still on those novellas. And it's not because I'm not interested, it's honestly because I usually find bits and pieces of time throughout the day to read, and it's been more challenging for me to find that time. So with my son at practice, and then getting home, and I've had a number of late calls where I've actually needed to pay attention. And so because of that, I have not been able to read nearly as much as I would like to. And that has drastically impacted then my ability to, finish these novellas, get started on the second one. I am still going to finish it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just, I just haven't had the time, or mainly that I just haven't had a good chunk of time to sit and read. And you would think with a novella it wouldn't take that long, and it doesn't. But if you don't have time to sit and read, you don't have time to sit and read regardless of how long the book is. So I'm still hoping to get that done. I saw something on a Facebook group that I'm in where it said that if you don't have the books that you've purchased downloaded to your device, there was a chance that they were going to be removed from Amazon. This is specifically for people who have the Kindle app and who buy books from the Amazon storefront. And as I've shared, I have a lot of books. Not all of them have been downloaded. I think at some point in time they all were. I changed new devices, and then something happens when you get a new device. And so if it was already downloaded, you're having to re-download it. And so yesterday, I spent a ridiculous amount of time just going through and just like clicking on the books. Not that I'm wanting to read them. So that's how I was typically doing it. I would buy the book, but I would only download it when it was time for me to read the book. You know what I'm saying? And so I had like a certain number that I had downloaded. Those were the ones that were at like the top of my queue or the top of my list. And then the rest of them were just there at the bottom for me to kind of scroll through, decide, okay, this is the next book, and then I'll download it. So yesterday I went through and I started downloading all of them because with the way things are going, I can't tell what's real and what's not. Now, granted, it would have taken a quick Google search to see whether or not this was something that was legitimately going to happen. But either way, it makes sense if I purchase the book to download it, because what I don't want to happen is for a book that I purchased to disappear because someone has made a decision about the books. And so I went through, I didn't even get to all of them. I need to work on that. I think they said it was by the end of February that they all needed to be downloaded. So I'm just going to go through and just make sure that the books that I have are downloaded, since I did not get the impression that we would be reimbursed for any books that we've purchased, had not downloaded, and that are all of a sudden removed. Because something else that I read was that when we agree to buy a Kindle book, it's not actually us purchasing it. It is almost like a subscription, or we're borrowing it. So we're paying to borrow the book. So we don't actually own a copy like we would if we bought a physical book. I do not read physical books. I'm not going to say I can. I just choose not to, because having the books downloaded on my Kindle, on my iPad, is much easier for me to manage, considering how much that I read. And so the idea that I could purchase a book, want to read a book, and then not have that book available when I want to do it because someone has decided that I should not be able to still have the book is annoying. Again, especially because I paid for it. And even if it was free, even if it was, free 99, it's still something that I had downloaded on my device. And so the fact that they can obviously find the books that were downloaded and remove them without informing you that they've been removed, and then two, not reimbursing you for any money that you may have paid for it, is just annoying. Now, I would probably more so notice if a book had been removed from my unread folder versus my read folder, because there's only a handful of books that I go back and reread. But it's still annoying. So that's also what I've been spending some time with, making sure that the long list of books, it is obscene. It is obscene, the number of books that I have. But anywho, that the books that I have will be available for me to read when I want to read them. So hopefully you're not in the same predicament that I am. If you are, I hope that you download your books and that you go to read one and all of a sudden you realize that it's missing. I think what it did showcase for me, though, was also that I just have a lot of books. Some that I have downloaded that I've probably had on my device for years and years, that when I look at it, I know the particular mind space and I can tell like the year, like whether or not I was new to the romance or more current times into romance based on the topic. And I would say that in my early reading, it was like I was split between historical, like European historical, Regency, maybe English Regency, and college romances and sports romance, and a lot of contemporary romance. Now it's more fantasy, a lot more Black authors, because when I first started, I wasn't aware that there were that many. And I don't even know if these books that I'm downloading I'm going to enjoy. But, that's part of the joy of reading. You never know if you're going to enjoy it, even if it's a recommendation from a friend, until you get into it. So it's almost like whack-a-mole at this point. We'll see how we do. But anyway, happy reading. I hope you all are doing okay. I hope you're finding some peace and some joy. And until next time, bye.